So today I want to talk about, I know you can't really see me, but today I want to talk about the concept that I learned, which is the 99% and the 1/10 rule. So this is from one of my mentors that I follow, Tai Lopez. You guys probably know him, guy in my garage. You guys can hate him, you can love him. He does spit a lot of wisdom. He's been in the game, even if he's not the greatest person in the online space, he's a very good marketer, which is the aspects that I look for. But anyways, so what is this? And this is the 99 and the 1/10 rule. So as Ty was saying, and I'm relaying this to you guys, basically the 99, what that is when you're taking advice from people or you're listening, you have to ignore 99% of people. If, let's say, there's 100 people that are talking to you, giving you advice, you have to ignore 99% of them. And there will be one person, statistically, there will be one person that, has his stuff together, that knows what he's talking about, that you want to emulate, and you follow that person with everything they do. So, in real worlds, and I'll give an example of this. I've given an example before. Everyone thinks they know what they're talking about. You watching this video, there's a chance that you're more self-aware than other people. And self-awareness is at the root of all things, where you get greater insight, where you get greater wisdom, and greater principles for yourself to follow. So, you know someone, I know someone, most people are like this. They think that they know what they're talking about, and they give advice on their, ego-driven self. I'll give an example. I have a family member. When he knew I was doing my personal brand, posting online, he told me, and this family member of mine, he's in debt. He's had, very little to his name. And, he's almost 50 years old. But he told me, I'm telling you right now, what did he say? You're better to cut checks, or you're better to write checks than to keep doing what you're doing. What was he doing? Telling me that, my personal brand and everything I'm doing is not going to work out. That I'm better off just giving my money away. Now, that's a little bit of an off example because I haven't made any money. But on a side note, we did sign our first client today. If you're watching this for my journey or whatever, I did sign my first client today. Gonna make a YouTube video about that this weekend, as well as make a video on my Instagram about it tonight. By the way, if you guys are watching this, follow me on Instagram, where I post daily updates on my AI agency that I'm trying to build to $1 million. But that's that. So going back to it, most people will not have a clue what they're talking about, but there are going to be people who you do know. Sorry, not necessarily you do know, but there are going to be people out there that do know what they're talking about and have stuff that you want to emulate, and that's the 1%. Now, there's two things I want to preface here, which Tai Lopez says. Again, this isn't Liam Billick ideas, this is Tai Lopez ideas, this is his mentors. This is a lot of good information, good wisdom, good insight. So, two things off of the one person. You will never have one person that fulfills your needs in every single realm of your life. So when I say one person and when you say 1%, you want to keep the ratio to that. So, business, you're going to have a business mentor. Health, you're going to have a health mentor, right? Chances are the person who's really good at business isn't going to be that in-depth on health, and so on. Now, the next thing is that you have to follow this person 100%. You have to do everything that they do and not question it. Now, this is something that almost seems counterintuitive, but at the end of the day, if you're following someone who's mentoring you and you are the mentee, what do you know is right or wrong, right? If they do something this and you're like, why do you do this? It seems stupid. Maybe that's the missing piece. Maybe that's, the catalyst in all of your success in whatever you're doing, right? In whatever area you're trying to have success in. So you have to follow them. Now, one thing to say here is that sometimes you'll lose, but most of the times you will win. It's about getting that best hand you can get. and they just keep playing, right? It's just like the slot machine. I don't think I talked about the slot machine in my video, but same thing, Tai Lopez. You know, life is like two slot machines. One of them is the good deck of hands that'll win, let's say, 1 out of every 10 times consistently. Then the other one is a random machine that wins 1 out of 20 times, but it is random. So you could win 2-3 times in a row, but statistically you're gonna win less than the 1 in 10 machine. And so that is that, right? You have to ignore all of the noise. Be undemocratic in your listening. Your brain is so sacred. You have to be super selective in who enters it and who influences what you say. An example that Tai said, you know, you can hang out with people and say, I'm just not going to listen to what they say. But, you know, if you said that about me and I screamed in your ear, you're still experiencing that, right? Humans are sensory beings. You're still going to be influenced one way or another by what I say, even if you choose not to listen to it. Now, the next thing that he talked about that goes hand in hand with this is that your expected return, your expected rate of success is going to be around 10% of what your mentor is. So this is not depressing, but this is something that you don't like to hear often. Now, I like to think of Tai as a mentor. I don't agree with this, but just like I said before, I'm heeding my own advice, right? I try to be as genuine as I can with everything I say and do. I'm going to follow what he says, and he says that the mentor that you model, so let's say you want to be good at basketball and you're mentored by Michael Jordan. If you are mentored by Michael Jordan, at an expected return, you're going to have around 10% of his success. So even 10% of Michael Jordan's success is going to be pretty darn good, right? But that brings to the point of you have to go straight to the top. You have to pick the people who are straight at the top. Now, it's a little bit of a balance. Obviously, if you're running for politics, you're not going to shoot for Donald Trump. That's almost, counterintuitive. And you're never going to get a Donald Trump. But if you have the choice, right, always shoot to aim as high as you can. That's the 1/10 rule, right? You're going to have 10% of the success. Another example Tai said in this, in the video, in the podcast that I was listening to, said he did a TED Talk before with a whole bunch of entrepreneurs, and he asked who has read the book, I think it was The Lean Startup and The 4-Hour Workweek. Now, if you read books, if you're an entrepreneur and you're in depth on that literature, you'll know those are very modern books by, what's the word? It's like buzz, right? It's like modern, it's pop culture, it's buzz. Those are the buzz books. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but, it's not something that has stand the test of time. Tim Ferriss' 4-Hour Workweek is way different than, let's say, Elon Musk. They both had success. It's not that one way is better than the other, right? It all comes down to you. So, going to that, right? Let's say Tim Ferriss, let's say he made $1 million. You're gonna have 10% of it if you follow what he says, $100,000. Now, if you follow Sam Walton, right? Sam Walton, owner of Walmart, Made in America, his book. Walton, I don't know how much he's worth, but Walton families, I think, are worth like $200 billion. Now, 10% of $200 billion, what would that be? $20 billion. I don't think anyone would be complaining to have 10% of Sam Walton's success. That is the 1/10 rule. And to get to that, right, you have to pick the right people. You have to be undemocratic in your listening. You have to be undemocratic. Undemocratic. You have to be aristocratic. You have to be a dictatorship of the mind. You choose what comes in. Not all thoughts are treated fairly. Not all thoughts should be treated fairly. When we take a thought, most times we do. Let's say 100 people, there's a deer. Say 100 people, you ask a question. You're going to take tidbits of everything that they say and then weight it against one single decision. It's not how you should do it. You should ignore 99% of those people and listen to the person you respect. And that respect too should be earned, right? Just like my family member who told me I'm better off cutting checks. Respectfully, he knows nothing about this realm, right? So I'm not going to listen to that. Now, it's obviously a balancing act to find those people, but respect is earned, right? And you have to be self-aware to recognize and realize where that success, that true success lies within the people that you're looking to mentor. No, sorry, the people you're looking to have mentored, to mentor you. Yeah, like that. Anyways, that's my video for today. I'm just coming back from badminton. Just a quick video. You know, I didn't really have a plan for today. But again, concepts, ideas to help you. Hopefully you're an entrepreneur watching this. Have success in greater and quicker multitude based on the things that I learned, that I either learn or earn. So if you guys have watched to this point, thank you guys for watching. Again, follow me on Instagram. I do daily updates. I have a Discord. If you want to start an AI agency, chances are you're probably on my channel because of my AI agency videos. I have a free one there. We give all sorts of sauce. It is completely free, opposite of Wyatt and Carson, if you guys, follow that. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope to see you in the next video. Subscribe and follow wherever you're consuming this from. And I will see you guys in the next one. Stay wise.